Not the Footy Show.
Everyone was here for Not the Footy Show, and Queensland have done it. They've won a game. Too bad the series has already gone 2-0 to New South Wales after the first two, but 20 points to 18. Queensland get over the Blues in game number 3, and Queensland again. Look, it was a much more gripping game than the first two because one team decided to stay in their match for 80 minutes, and this time that was Queensland. Look, what surprised me was New South Wales. They were struggling without Cleary, Luai, but Moses and Whiten, they just didn't get the job done. Their defence did. I thought New South Wales defended really well that 10-minute period before half-time. Look, New South Wales were always going to miss Cleary and Luai, and the replacement of Moses and Whiten, it just wasn't going to be as good. And unfortunately for the Blues, that proved one of the differences tonight, but it wasn't the only difference. Queensland get Kalen Ponga back, Daly Cherry-Evans, probably the quietest game he played through the whole series, and yet they won. That's interesting. Munster, so-so, but Ponga, superb. The four-pack, just as good as the Blues in the middle. And Ben Hunt, a difference maker. And what's interesting is that Damien Cook had his best game of the series, yet got benched after 55 minutes. And that's the key part of this whole match. Now, I love the fact that Freddie kept talking about going for 3-0 was going to be what he did. And he was like, we're going to sweep him, and that's fantastic. But he got Eric Picasso on for Cook. And I think that's the decision that ultimately cost the Blues a 3-0 series win. Mind you, we won the series 2-1. So does it really matter? Well, it does. If you want to talk about winning the series 3-0, you should be going for the jugular, as Gus said in his pre-game. And taking Cook off, I just didn't understand. Play Cook at lock or something like that and let Appy have his time. But Appy played 25 minutes or 23 minutes. That's honestly about 13 minutes too much. Look, he scored a try, and that was a bit of a good play by him, but he missed Ben Hunt from dummy half. He stood there and got caught watching. And one of the great things about old Damien Cook is he's a scramble king. He's always there. And unfortunately, on the try that Queensland scored to take the lead, that's the kind of thing that Damien Cook stops. I'm not saying that he definitely gets there and stops it, but that's the kind of thing that he finds a way to do it. And if you look at the replay, it's not great for Mitch Moses on that play. So Ben Hunt gets 2 tries, is man of the match. Ponga, dynamic. Moses and Whiten, those last 10 minutes, New South Wales had their chances. They camped on the Queensland line, and it was a rudderless ship. It really was, with Cook off on the bench. It was down to Coruscant and a couple of props. And unfortunately, the play that just signified when New South Wales lost the plot is Dale Finucane took the 5th tackle, I think it was, in the second last set New South Wales had of the game from 10 metres out. Where are you, Mitch Moses? Where are you, Jack Whiten? And unfortunately, they just weren't able to make a difference. Tommy barely saw the ball unless he came looking for it. We didn't get a matchup with Hamilton Tabuai-Fidow at all. And like going into the game was like, well, that was what we needed to do. And Tommy just didn't get those opportunities. He had to look for the ball. And look, that was a great play by Ponga to stop Tommy's pass to Teddy. Teddy might have been tackled anyway. Look, it's disappointing as a Blue to get a chance to win 3-0 and not do it. But we won the series, and yeah, that's really all that matters. Queensland carried on a little bit at the end of the game, but hey, yeah, when you get smashed in the first 2 games, I understand it. But you didn't win the series. That's 3 series wins for the Blues in the last 4 series. Not quite 8 in a row, or whatever it was out of too many. But 3 from 4, it's significant. And New South Wales have a chance to do it all again next year. Queensland, take the win. It's a good win. But you were absolutely outplayed in this series. And I haven't even mentioned the refereeing, which was awful. Queensland lived in the play the ball. And you can call me New South Wales biased. Yeah, I'm wearing the Blues down here. But if you watch that game with open eyes, the ruck was dominated in the play the ball by Queensland. They just lay all over the ball, and they got away with it time and time again. And there was one play that I look at, and I looked after the first 5 minutes, and I thought that might come back and cost New South Wales. And that was the penalty that got Queensland on the board 2-0. I'm fine with it. Absolute penalty. Yep, blow it. New South Wales went down there into the field. The first chance they got, and Christian Welch pushed New South Wales to the ground. Conceded 6 again, but that was right in front of the posts, 10 metres out, right after you've given a penalty like that. To me, that's where the consistency level with the 6 agains don't make any sense to me, because it was a deliberate act from Christian Welch. He's happily to give away the 6 again, but why is it 6 again when it could be 2 points to level it up? Interesting decision, and the rest of the night, just Jared Sutton, I don't know how he referees Origin. I really don't. So anyway, New South Wales 2-1 in the series. I've droned on for too long. We might be doing this podcast. I hope I can get Rock Cocksmith on the phone to talk about it. I'm sure he'll be glowing of Mitchell Moses and Jack Whiten. And congratulations, Queensland. You got a win for the series. But unfortunately, the series win goes to the Blues.
Not the Footy Show.